Welcome to the Principles of Good Health podcast, where I provide you with straightforward and practical nutrition and lifestyle advice, helping you lead a happier, healthier, and more active life. I hope you enjoy the show.
I just wanted to come on and say, hey, I'm back in the land of the living. I've had the most horrendous month. I've been really ill. I never get ill. And it's just completely wiped off January for me. You might be able to still hear it slightly in my voice. Started with just the most horrendous cough, which potentially was flu-y, but I've never had flu in my life, so I couldn't even describe to you what that is. I just couldn't do anything. I was cold. I had no appetite. Had to sleep upright for 3 weeks because of this hacking cough and phlegm and itchy rash all over my torso, and really the list goes on. And it took me, I'd say, till this week to feel like I'm properly well. My energy is not back where it should be, but within myself, my physical energy, but within myself, I actually feel well again. And it's got me thinking, and the post I wrote in mid-January when I was in the thick of it, got me thinking about, well, why? Of course, I'll never truly know why. When I considered myself, and I'm proud that I can keep myself healthy, and, if I feel a bit unwell, I bounce back really quickly, and how I've never had flu in my life, and I'm still coughing a bit, and how I can never say that anymore. And it frustrates me as to why now, okay. I'm getting older. I'm now in my 60th year, so I've got to take better care of myself. But, the bit of reflection that I have done, I thought I would share with you. And as I said, of course, we will never know why, truly, but I thought I'd just share with you 3 things that have crossed my mind. So I started to develop this cough when I was out in Portugal on the Algarve between Christmas and New Year. My husband did too, but he had a bad cough, but never came down badly with what I ended up with when we got back to the UK. So New Year's Eve, cough started, starts to get worse. New Year's Day, obviously 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I didn't fly back from Portugal until the evening of the 3rd, Friday the 3rd, back in the UK by Saturday. First thing I wanted to do was to go up to the yard to see my horse that I hadn't seen, but I knew within myself, I said, I can't ride. I'm not well enough to ride my horse. I'll come up and see him, but I was rapidly going downhill. So I'm in Portugal. The weather's glorious. It's okay, a bit cold morning or night. It was an absolute tonic. The sun was shining in the middle of the day. It was 17 degrees. I'm looking out at the sea. Absolutely beautiful. So it wasn't being in Portugal per se. And yes, I know you pick up things on planes, but I always have done. I travel a lot. It's not that. But when I'm at home, at the first sign of any infection, the first thing I do is reach for vitamin C and reach for echinacea. Now, I don't use any fancy vitamin C. I know you can get liposomal vitamin C now, which is supposed to be better absorbed. I used a pretty bog standard Lambert's time release vitamin C with flavonoids. Flavonoids and vitamin C work very synergistically together, and time release because otherwise vitamin C gets flushed right through. And the concept of time release is you get more of a drip feed effect from the vitamin C. Now, vitamin C, if you look at what the recommended daily amount, like your old-fashioned RDA is concerned, to prevent scurvy, because that's what the levels are set at, is 60 milligrams. Now, I would always recommend to people just generally, and especially through winter months, to be supplementing about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It's water soluble, you'll flush it out, any excess that you don't need, it's not dangerous. But at the first time of any infection in the UK, which I normally would be, I would reach for my vitamin C. And what I was doing, I might have been told differently by other colleagues of mine now, is I would take about 6 grams a day. I would typically take 2 grams with my breakfast, 2 grams, that's 2,000 milligrams, 2 grams with lunch, 2 grams with dinner. And I'd keep repeating that as long as I'm feeling how I was, I'd keep taking that. Vitamin C is antiviral. There's research to show that for colds, which is viral infection, it reduces the severity of the cold and it reduces the length of the cold, hence why I would take so much. I've since been told by colleagues that there are experts out there that would say you should dose up 1,000 milligrams, 1 gram every single hour. Never have gone to that extreme. As I said, I've tended to just do, it's just easier, isn't it? With my meals, I would just take 2 grams breakfast, 2 grams at lunch, 2 grams at dinner, 6 grams, 6,000 milligrams a day. I would do that repeatedly whilst I was feeling like I'm feeling. I didn't have it with me in Portugal to do that. The second thing is I use echinacea. Echinacea, again, very antiviral, again, known to be immunomodulatory to really help. And I've actually just been reading an article to show how by using echinacea, when you have an infection, a viral infection, or bacterial infection, that it would reduce the need for antibiotics. There's research to show that. So I use a Vogel echinacea. I always have it on my shelf, on my herbal shelf. That's my first aid shelf. Not that I keep it separate to my normal supplements. And I would go and get the echinacea out. And normally it's like 15 drops 3 times a day. So that's what I would do. I would take the echinacea with the vitamin C and I'd do that 3 times a day. If I had a sore throat, but I didn't, I also use a Vogel's echinacea spray, and you can spray the echinacea straight onto your throat to help with things like sore throats. So I didn't have those things to hand. I went downhill on the Tuesday, started coughing on the Tuesday. So I lost Tuesday, Wednesday, I lost 4 days at the start of this infection where I didn't have my usual antivirals that I would take at the outbreak of any sort of infection that I would get to give my immune system that boost, to help it, to try and stop these things taking a hold. Now, I'll never know if that's the reason, by not having those things to hand, that this virus is able to penetrate and get through and just take a hold and take over my body and rule the roost for a few weeks. But that's what goes through my mind at the moment. The other thing I'm now done, and I recommend this to my clients a lot, and I've recommended it on here. This is going to show up back to front, I think. This is a vitamin D test. It's run from a private NHS department. Don't know if you can see on the back. It's finger prick. And you can see almost like you get little dots of blood and you put it on a little pad. You prick your finger. It costs £31. The website is vitamindtest.org. Takes you to this private NHS department, Black Country Pathology Services. You can order these tests en masse or individually. So I ordered my vitamin D test for myself and my husband and my 2 daughters, £31. That's come in. I did the test. Easy to do. Finger prick, few drops of blood, a few spots of blood, posted that off. And I'll wait for the results to be emailed back to me because I'm wondering, without knowing, if my vitamin D levels had dropped really low. Vitamin D is essential for the immune system. Did my vitamin D levels drop much lower than they would be? The last time I tested, my level was at 98 nmol per litre, which is, around about 100 is where you want it to be, 100 to 150. You don't want it lower, without me realising it since I last did the test. And even though I do get into sunnier climes, but with our rubbish weather in the UK with no sunshine, had for some reason my vitamin D levels dropped. Yes, I do supplement, but it's a bit random. I can't promise that I was absolutely taking my vitamin D spray on my cheek every single day. So I've done that test so I can have a look at what my vitamin D levels are telling me to see if that was a factor or not. So really, that's all I can say. Wanted to share that with you because it's those 2 things, the vitamin C and the echinacea, is the only 2 things I can pinpoint that's different from what I would normally do at the outbreak of any sort of infection that normally, as a healthy person, I would be able to nip things in the bud. Yes, I might feel a bit rough for a few days, yes, there might be a day when I just feel I can't do anything, but not to the degree and not to the way I have been affected this month. January's almost been a write-off. I have been seeing clients the last week or so, but it's been really challenging for me to stay on top of my client work. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm about to go on holiday, so proper sunny holiday, which I'm grateful that I'm feeling so much better and I can go away, because 2 weeks ago, I don't think I could have boarded a plane. I feel so much better in myself. Looking forward to my holiday. I've got to go off and pack now. And when I come back, I'm going to share with you the antivirals I started taking. I was so ill that first week that even as a practitioner, I couldn't think for myself. And I put a cry for help out on the nutrition network, where I'm a member of a group of nutritionists and mostly nutritionists, maybe other practitioners, to say, help me, this is what's going on. What are your recommendations? And when I started going through that, I thought, yeah, of course I need that. Yes, of course I should be taking that. A lovely colleague sent me some homeopathic remedies, respiratory and viral homeopathic remedies that I'm still taking. So I took a whole raft of things, and fingers crossed that I'm hoping that's really helped me bounce back. Some people have talked about coughs going on for 6 weeks, but I'm almost at the tail end of that. Fingers crossed, I hope. And when I come back, I thought I might share that with you, just to give you an idea of the things I took, because I wasn't going to leave any stone unturned in terms of my recovery. Unfortunately, I lost that first week because I was just in the depths of feeling really unwell. But by the time I got to the second week, I'd ordered all these things. I had my homeopathic remedies sent to me by a very, very kind lady. And, absolutely religiously took these things, antiviral things. Again, I hope they've been really effective and helped me to bounce back, and start to feel better. But it's been a long, hard slog. So just wanted to share that with you. I am going away. So I'm very grateful for being able to go away and get some sunshine, and it's come at the right time when I'm feeling better, pretty much. And I will catch up with you in a couple of weeks, well, less than 2 weeks' time, but almost 2 weeks' time. So I hope you get some sunshine here and you can get outside. You don't get your vitamin D at this time of year. Don't even think that when the sun shines in the winter, you're going to get any vitamin D. You absolutely must supplement it, not just for immunity, but for hormonal health and brain health, and for bone health, etc. We absolutely need our vitamin D. And I strongly recommend doing this very, very simple finger prick blood test. Easy to do. £31. It's an absolute no-brainer to find out your levels, because it absolutely should be, as a minimum, for optimal levels at this level of 100 nmol per litre. 100 up to 150 is the sort of benchmark of optimal levels of where it needs to be. So I will leave that with you, and I will catch up with you probably in about 2 weeks' time. Take care, everyone. Hope you don't get what I had. Bye.
Thank you for listening. This is Caroline, the creator of the Patent Principles Natural Health podcast series. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, please click like and subscribe to the entire podcast series.